One can accomplish extraordinary things when the fire of passion and patriotism burning in one's heart becomes a driving force in life. This was proven by a 25-year-old youth from a tribal area about 120 years ago. He not only shook the foundations of the British rule by fanning the flames of independence, but also became a hero for thousands of his people who revered and followed him. The reason why his portrait now proudly hangs in the Parliament of India, the world's largest democracy. This martyr is none other than the famous revolutionary Birsa Munda, who is also known as the father of the earth or Dharti Abba. Let's explore the story of Birsa Munda and his journey to becoming a god for his people. It all began in Chaibasa, Burj. A missionary school was running classes as usual. A Christian teacher, Dr. Nortrot, was repeatedly using derogatory words for a tribal community called Munda. Reacting to these comments, a student named Birsa Munda, who himself belonged to the Munda tribe, that still resides in significant numbers in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region of Jharkhand, he strongly opposed Dr. Nortrot's statement. This resulted in the expulsion of the boy from the school. But this incident didn't end here. The school considered the altercation with Dr. Nortrot as an insult to the Christian religion. Father Lutheran, the head of the school, ordered Birsa to meet him. Father Lutheran asked Birsa to apologize to Dr. Nortrot, but Birsa, who was only about 13-14 years old at that time, believed that it was not right for anyone who educates or practices religion to insult another community or religion. During this time, an incident occurred that further fueled the fire of resistance within Birsa. Just the next day, one of his friends, Soma, passed away due to an illness. Soma had adopted Christianity, but his last wish was to have his funeral done according to Munda customs and traditions. When Father Lutheran heard about the preparations for the final rites, he went to Birsa with his followers and insisted that Soma be buried according to the Christian faith. When some villagers refused to accept this, he threatened them with dire consequences. Birsa was now adamant and angry. Bluntly, in no uncertain terms, he expressed his displeasure about the way the father and the Christian schools were not only passing on wrong teachings, but also trying to change their very own traditions. Inspired by Birsa's fearlessness, all the villagers now joined him, and they warned the father and his followers that their intrusion would no longer be tolerated. Fearing for his life, Father Lutheran retreated. Birsa Munda knew that this victory would be short-lived, and now he and his followers' life would be full of struggles and difficulties. But within the folds of the rising flames of Soma's funeral pyre, he could see a vision of independence. Birsa Munda established a new religion called Birsayat, which proclaimed that there is only one God. During that time, the British government passed laws that were not in the interest of the tribal community. The laws prevented them from grazing their own domesticated animals, collecting wood from their own land. If any tribal person accidentally did something like that, they were punished, and punished brutally, beaten up, and their own land was forcibly taken over by the British. Birsa then started bringing all the tribal people together to raise their voice against these atrocities and exploitation. As a result, he reached the peak of his popularity, and the people of the Munda tribe honored him with the title of Dharti Abba, or the Father of the Earth. Not only the Mundas, but the other tribal communities like the Orans and the Kharias also joined hands with the Birsa. And a new movement was born, Ul Gulan, or the Great Tumult. Under the leadership of Birsa, these rebels comprising of around 6,000 tribespeople formed a guerrilla army and established a camp on top of a hill. To crush the Ul Gulan movement, 2 detachments of the army were sent under the command of British Commissioner Forbes and Deputy Commissioner H.C. Stratfield. The army launched a heavy attack on the innocent tribespeople gathered on Dumbari Hill and indiscriminately fired on them, killing hundreds and hundreds. The entire mountain was covered with corpses. But the British forces did not stop there. The bodies of those who survived were thrown off the hill, and those who were wounded were buried alive without even firing a second shot to kill them. Come to think of it, these innocent tribals were not trained soldiers, mind you. In fact, they had been forced to pick up weapons to defend themselves against the British brutalities and atrocities committed by their officials and agents. Thinking of the sight of that mountain still gives us nightmares. This was the first mass murder in India's fight for independence. Occurring 20 years before the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The Statesman published a news report on 25th March 1900, where the number of people killed was claimed to be 400. There is hardly any mention of this tragedy in our history books, but the Dumbari Hill massacre is seared in the memories of the local people. They named the hill Tot Buru, which means the Mound of the Dead. Although Birsa was injured, he somehow managed to escape. However, a few months later, on March 3, 1900, he was arrested while asleep in the Jamtapai forest in Chakradharpur. The British had 2 ways of dealing with the rebels. One was to kill them straight away, and the other was to set an example by brutal torture and humiliation, so that the people would be filled with terror in their hearts and not at all dream of freedom anymore. And this is why Birsa was marched away in full public view with his hands and feet in chains. Clad in this turban and dhoti, Birsa's face, however, showed no sign of fear but radiated with pride and confidence. Throughout the way, the women were beating their chests, looking towards the sky as if complaining to gods about why such a fate had befallen their god. They worshipped Birsa Munda, and he was their only hope. And now he was being cruelly snatched away from them. The British government sentenced Birsa to lifelong imprisonment. While in jail, Birsa's health deteriorated, and on June 9, 1900, he passed away. At that time, he was only 25 years old. Even after his death, the British remained on tender hooks. They feared that news of his death might incite riots and lead to the burning down of their police stations. Therefore, they quietly burned Birsa's body on the banks of the Subarnarekha River. The legacy that this young man has left behind is remembered by the tribal communities of Bihar, Jharkhand, Karnataka, and Odisha. The slogan Raj Setar Jana, Maharani Raj Tundu Jana, that made the Britishers go through sleepless nights. This is still remembered with pride. The slogan means the Queen's rule should end and our rule be established.